Prince Robert needs a ball to find his bride. What is wrong with him?
Maybe nothing's wrong with him. I heard he just wants to allow anyone the chance to fall in love with him.
How conceited is that?
Welcome to History of. I'm Katrina, and today KB and I are taking on a classic fairy tale with a 21st century twist. Amazon Prime Video's Cinderella movie starring Camila Cabello. Wanna play? Hit the subscribe button below and make sure you never miss a meta movie moment.
A folktale dating back as far as the 1800s, Cinderella is the tale of a downtrodden heroine in search of a better life. Her father's death leaves her in the unfortunate position of being at the beck and call of her stepmother and less the compassionate stepsisters. But despite all odds, 1 in a million, some might say, she not only finds love, but also the life she's always dreamed of.
This episode, we're going to focus on the ins and outs of a classic Cinderella story and take a look at how it's been reimagined with tons of cool contemporary twists, like Fab G in the place of a fairy godmother and Cuban-American multi-hyphenate Camila Cabello at the helm as our princess. Because spoiler alert, it's 2021 and this isn't your stepmother's fairy tale.
I'll get us started. Katrina, do you know where Cinderella got her name?
I have no idea where her name came from, but I'm pretty sure it's old because I've never met another Cinderella in my life.
The stepdaughter, Ella, or as her stepsisters call her, Cinderella, because her skin was often besmirched by cinders, and her stepsisters were not that clever.
Well, you and I both have never met a Cinderella in our lives, but just so you know, Cinderella means little ashes, and it is partially derived from the French name Cinderella.
Ooh, fancy.
You have dirt on your face.
Okay, KB, it's your turn. Let's see how well you know your fairy tales from the 1800s. Was the sister's creepy suitor Thomas Cecil in the original telling of Cinderella?
Oh, you're in! Good morning, Ella.
Mr. Cecil! It's Mr. Cecil! I'm curious, do you really need that cane?
No, but chicks dig it.
Ooh, I mean, I'm gonna say no, mostly because why would they put this creepy person in a children's fairy tale? Actually, I take that back because the Pied Piper is also a fairy tale, also very creepy. So you know what? Cecil just very well may have been in it.
So yeah, you're right. And I think that they kind of created him from the original fairy tale though, because in the Grimm's fairy tale, Cinderella is a princess who doesn't like the prince. She thinks that he's gross. And so he disguises himself as someone else to make Cinderella fall in love with him. They've totally reversed it, but I think that Thomas is supposed to possibly represent her original feelings about Prince Charming in the original fairy tale.
I just want to check in on you and make sure that your blossoming daughters are managing.
Makes my skin crawl.
Mine too.
Well, I definitely just learned something new about that original Grimm fairy tale. So I've got the next one, and it is a beauty question. So Katrina, is it true that in the old-timey days, pinching your cheeks to make them rosy was a real thing?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna guess yes, just because I feel like I've heard this before, and it seems like a great excuse to slap your sister a little bit.
Are they rosy yet? The paint is quite terrific.
Ladies, are we ready? What in God's name are you doing?
Bringing color to her cheeks.
Good idea.
You know what? The things that we as women have done in the name of beauty, I 100% am going to say that I believe that this is true. I believe that women tried anything to make their appearance be more appealing. Now, I don't know that I'm going to necessarily say that it was for, kind of the attention of a prince. Like sometimes we just want to look good for ourselves, and maybe they just tried it for that reason.
Yes, some of those were just for us. Like, we did not figure out what beaver glands make perfume just based on like that. Some of that had to have been for us.
Oh yeah, of course. Because we were like, well, we want to smell good, or we want to make our eyelashes look a certain way just for us, just to feel great about ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, considering how many times men have not noticed my fake eyelashes, I would say that it's definitely sometimes not.
100%.
It's not just because a rich man is coming to your door in order to give you a better life. Like, that's not always what it's about. Okay, it's my turn. So KB, in the original folktale, did Prince Charming have a sister?
I mean, I feel like Prince Charming is wildly entitled, and that type of behavior is kind of reminiscent of an only child, in my personal opinion. And I say that as someone who used to be an only child for the majority of my life. But yeah, I don't think that in the original he had a sister. Now, did I like this kind of new shakeup in this version? Absolutely. Give us a sister who cares about climate change and, changing the world and poverty. I'm into it. But I definitely think in the original, he was probably solo dolo.
I really just don't have the time in my schedule to be controlling these far-off lands. I am just too busy.
Yes, correct. In the original fairy tale, he is an only child. And as a continuing only child, I will say that he does kind of give off that energy, but also in a way that is very considerate. In this version, I feel like they also made him, even if it is because he has a sister, they did kind of make him more aware of the point of view of women in this world because he has a sister, I think, and her just existence making him more aware of that. So yeah, I did not hate that update.
Would this be a good time for me to mention how the kingdom could use the power of the wind instead of burning filthy coal?
And I also think it had a lot to do with his having a strong mom as well, who, wasn't afraid to share her opinions, particularly with her sometimes obnoxious husband, the king. And so
oh my God, yes.
Oh my goodness. So I think that he learned a lot, and he was kind of surrounded by strong women, which is why he wasn't intimidated by Ella. So speaking of that, I have one more question for you. Was it really illegal for women to run a business during this time in the original fairy tale?
I'm going to say 100% yes, since I'm pretty sure we were still straight up property at that point, or maybe borderline. We would have been property regardless, but you know what I mean? Like the women kind. So I'm going to say we definitely couldn't run a business back then.
Yeah, I'm going to 100% say that you are correct. And I know this date sounds wrong, but the Women's Business Ownership Act wasn't even enacted until October 25th, 1988. And that was just here in the US. And I can only imagine how some women in other countries, maybe even in present day, still don't have the right to own a business.
Yeah, like you said 1988, and I wanted you to say that you messed up and meant 1888, but you did not. But yeah, I do feel like that was a part of this update, was kind of giving just inklings of the other women in Cinderella being multifaceted at all. Like showing that the evil stepmother and her talent of piano playing, and writing in that she had this whole other issue with being accepted as a woman with a talent, and having the queen paint, and all of these kind of different sprinkles of women of that time, and those characters that we know being slightly more than one-dimensional. Even when she's talking to the vapid stepsister in the mirror, and she's kind of like, what do I like about me? And just how novel that idea was to her. I feel like they did little nice feminism Easter eggs for us.
I also really, really loved the character of Queen Tatiana. And even though she was just for a second, Queen Tatiana came on the scene. She said, I don't like my time to be wasted because I'm literally a queen. And I'm also looking to work with someone innovative. So Ella, do you want this job traveling around the world being my personal stylist and, my personal dressmaker? And here's an opportunity because I want to see other women shine and you're doing a fabulous job. And I thought, yes, women supporting women. So that's another thing that they put in this updated version.
Yes, I absolutely loved Queen Tatiana. And even though, you're saying, she's not on screen for a long amount of time, but she definitely has a presence and just plays the role as this saving grace for Cinderella. So I did kind of like that her financial hero is also a woman. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't think about that. Yay, we did it! That was so fun. That was such a great way to talk about this futuristic update of a fairy tale classic. So thank you so much for talking about the Cinderella movie with me, KB.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Katrina, for having me. And any time, I would love to come back. So you guys, if you want to see more, comment below and tell us which Amazon Prime Video movies that you want to dive deep into the history of. And watch the Cinderella movie, available now on Amazon Prime Video.
Dad, why'd you name yourself Richard? He was like, because I want to be rich.
Did you wash your hands? Of course not.
Oh my God!
You ever use schmaltz? Same heart attack, different afterlife.
Even if I did know where the Antichrist was, I wouldn't tell you. We're on opposite sides.
I rather enjoy being on fleek.
I ate a bug.